Hey, real quick before we get started, this is an upload of the top 16 matches I was able to record for the Treasure Cup at LvL Up Expo this past weekend and hosted by PlayTCG. This took a lot of time not only to obtain, but to record and then to edit it down and then also to dub over. It just took like over 6 hours of work. So if you guys appreciate it, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. And also just big shout outs to the whole PlayTCG group that hosted this event and ran it, specifically Everett, Jerry, Corey, and also brothers Brandon and Brock, specifically Brock for helping me and making sure that my cell phone was set up for some of these matches. I couldn't have made this video without them. So thank you very much. They do also do some streaming. They should be doing the coverage for the Texas event next weekend as well. To make sure to follow their Twitch. Link is in the description, and that's going to be it. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. All right, here we have our first round of top 16. We have Jackson Hoang on the left with Kid versus Alan Ruiz on the right with Zoro, the only Zoro in top cut. And looks like they're starting off with a Nami. Looking at the top 5, getting a Diablo Jambe, pretty good card for ending out the game. Not really doing much early game, and then Jackson just drops a killer to pass the turn. Back to Alan on turn 2 with 3 Dawn, just attacks with a 6k Zoro, playing a VV for 2 and ending the turn there. So 4 Dawn open for Jackson, using the Neko to rest the VV, attacking over it with a 6k Kit and just passing with a Bonnie. Going back to 5 Dawn on Alan's side. Let's see what he decides to do with 5 Dawn. So paying 1 or putting 1 underneath the leader, making a 5k Nami with leader effect, and the 2 Dawn going down to 3 life on Jackson's side. Swing with 6k leader, countering out of it with an Izo, and then playing a Sanji with no extra Dawn to put under it to give it rush and just passing the turn. Back to Jackson, it looks like he does have 6 Dawn to work with, so attacking with Neko first to get rid of the Nami, pretty standard there, and then playing the Trafalgar Law to bounce back and get the Neko, and then a 6k swing to get a lot of pressure on that Sanji, and Sanji does get KO'd, so passing it back to Alan there, and kind of a nice play there, deciding not to use the Bonnie just to get the board clear out. 7k with leader, looks like block, and then another Izo counter there. A 2 for Sanji, another 2 underneath it, so it is a 6k with rush and 7k with Zoro effect, and then just kind of deciding where he wants to put an actually 8k at that Law, and I think that'll probably get it, but no, the killer will get the block there. So passing it back to Jackson here. They're going to start off with the Bonnie effect, looking top 5 for the Apu, which is a supernova there, and then using the 1 on the Neko to pressure the Sanji. It's 4-4 right now and will not save the Sanji either. Putting 1 underneath the Law just in case you get a jet pistol, and then passing with a Basil Hawkins play. Going to 9 Dawn here, using the 4 on the Basil. Probably a good choice. That gets a lot of value later game. And then using the Zoro swing into the Bonnie, using the block to get out of it. And now we are a Zoro here with 5. And you kind of have to think about the Dawn management here. So decided to do 5-5, or 5-1 getting the Bonnie, and then playing the 2 for the vanilla there. So you could have put 1 on their leader and have 2 6k swings, but then you wouldn't be able to have played the 2 drop there. So that's what he's kind of prioritizing there. And really unfortunate because we have the 3rd Izo there, using it to rest the Hsieh and attack 4k, using the Trafalgar Law to get out of it, attacking with a 6k leader that will get it. And then using a killer to get rid of the Zoro, that killer putting a lot of effort. And just like both killers, the 2 drop and 3 drop, getting a lot of value in this matchup here. So swinging with just a 15k Zoro, yeah, you're not going to counter out of that one. And just passing the turn just means probably just has a lot of reactive cards in hand and nothing really to do with it. So putting another Dawn underneath your blocker just so it doesn't get jet pistol, and then 5k with killer, taking the hit. 5k with the Neko, thinking about it, and then going to counter with Otama to get out of it. So still 3 life for Alan on the right. And then we do have a 6k swing with leader and taking it there. So going down to 2 apiece, and then even a 7k Law swing, saying you're not very afraid of dying next turn. And then for Momo, using the effect, looking top 5. And let's see what you get. You get another Neko, which is pretty strong, at least even showing it just says, like, if you play something like a Nami, I can just rest it next turn, so you got to be careful about it. Playing Nami for 1, looking at top 5. And let's see what we get. And it is a jet pistol. That would be the second one that we get to play this turn. Not this turn, this game. And probably using it, for the Law. They're getting rid of it. It's a pretty rough card to deal with sometimes. And then from there, just a lot of Dawn open 5 still, using 1 underneath the leader to make it 6k, Nami a 3k, even though it won't be able to attack this turn. And then another Zoro using a 6k swing on the killer. And thinking about it, and looks like they will use the Punk Gibson to get out of it, and then 7k on killer, and yeah, there's no saving that. So, but now you are able to attack into the Nami this next turn, which is really great. And we'll kind of have to see what goes on there. So looking through the drop, the trash, make sure there's how many 2Ks, because you could technically win with leader this turn, but it is a little risky, and that does kind of leave you open to just the crack back on the next turn. So taking it a little bit slow, using the Izo to attack into the Nami, 3-2, taking the KO there. And then a little bit of thinking, probably 2 on Neko, yep. 5k on the Zoro, using a 2k Brooks to get out of it, 7k on the Zoro battle card. Character card, and then looking at, really thinking there. Does he want to save it? And using the double Otama to do so, and then after that, using the leader effect, another 7k swing to get out of it, 2 Dawn open, and just passing it right there. So again, 10 Dawn left for Alan on the right. I believe there's about 3 cards, using a Nami to look top 5 again. And let's see what they find. Yeah, getting another Rush Zoro. One of the stronger cards, but again, it's going to be very tricky to kind of capitalize here. So playing 3 for the Zoro, putting 1 underneath the leader. You can get 2 swings this turn, so if you want to get rid of the board, you can. You do have to be careful of just like dying again next turn. So 8k swing with Zoro. Let's see where that's headed. I believe it's at the Izo. And, or no, it looks like it's at the leader, because you do get the Punk Gibson, and then you do get a counter out of it with the Scratch Man. So that's pretty good for Jackson left there. 8k swing. I don't know, probably at leader. I think at this point you're not really able to do much. So you're using on the Neko for the board clear, but yeah, that's just very, very rough there. All right, so 2 on leader swinging in, and then they took there. So probably safe to say another, and like that gets the game. So we're going to game number 2 here. Looks like Jackson's going first, playing the Beige and passing it back. On turn 2, Zoro is looking like they are going to play the Vivi and pass right back. 3 Dawn open. Okiku would probably be pretty good right here if you have it, and you do, so you do play it. That puts a lot of pressure on the Vivi and whatever card they play next, assuming it's not a rush card. 4 Dawn open here, so you could put 1 under Zoro and then a VV 5k swing, and then also playing the 3-drop Zoro to get another 6k swing. So put a lot of pressure turn 1. Let's see, 1 underneath leader, 5k VV swing at leader. Taking it, going it down to 4, 6k swing using Apu. And then a 5k or +1 6k swing with the Rush Zoro. So pretty good like Dawn management there, using the best of it. Having a 5k 6k swing is pretty good. But Bonnie on the opposite side, looking at top 5, deciding what they want to grab, and deciding to grab a double checking, triple checking, a killer blocker. Pretty good in this matchup as well. And not even like a bad card to just play right here. You do have a lot of cards on board. It does get the 2k counter out to save the Vivi. And it looks like it's going to be a 6k swing on the Vivi to get rid of it. You're probably not going to get rid of the Zoro, and then playing the 2-drop killer you add to hand and passing it right back. And attacking with leader into, I believe, Bonnie. Let's see. Yes, getting into the Bonnie, getting rid of it. For 1, playing your Nami, looking at top 5. And let's see, they add a double checking, triple checking, getting a Usopp 2k counter there. Putting an extra Dawn underneath the leader now that you know what your turn is going to look like, and then a 6k swing onto the Okiku. 2 blockers up, but using a 2k Izo counter to get out of it. And thinking what to do with these 2 Dawn here. Looks like they're playing a Sanji, using the Sanji effect with Dawn 2 to gain rush, and then just blocking with the Beige on the attack and passing it right back over. And let's see. Yeah, getting the 2 Dawn. So again, doing a really good job kind of just mitigating the offensive on the Zoro side, always getting a lot of board clear. So swing with Okiku to get rid of the Sanji, then swing the killer to force a counter for the Nami, which Jackson was something, it was really aggressive with his blockers. It was really interesting to see. And it really, really worked out for him. So 7k with Zoro, or 7 with Kid to attack into the Zoro character card, and then another killer, and leaving 2 open again. You could have put 1 Dawn underneath it, but kind of just showing that I do have Punk Gibson. So you do have to kind of play around it if you want. And let's see if that's what happens. So 1 underneath the leader, 2 to the killer, and looks like he's thinking about, he's going to just let it die. And then a 6 to a 5 using the Punk Gibson there. Yeah, so definitely very good of Alan to recognize he has to swing with Nami first, or it probably would get Punk Gibson. You do play the 5-drop Luffy from the Star deck, making it a 8k plus 1, and getting rid of the Ukiku with your swing. So, right, I think that was pretty good sequencing for Alan, making sure that, you swing with Luffy last, so if they are kind of holding up their blockers, you can get around it. And this is probably like the most cleared that Jackson's board's been since the beginning of this game. So swing with the killer to get rid of the Nami, and then using a 9k swing on Luffy does get rid of it, and then playing a Trafalgar Law to reset that back to hand, and playing an Okiku, which is quite strong as well. Yeah, Jackson he plays 4 Trafalgar Laws, which is obviously the max you can, and he definitely takes advantage of it by swinging with the small guys and then bouncing back to hand to not only get something out of hand, but get like their 1k or 2k counter right back. So just a 15k swing with the leader, goes down to 2, playing the Bonnie, looking at the top 5, double checking, triple checking to get that Scratch Man and Pooh to hand, 8 Dawn open right now. And looks like they're going to swing with Okiku for 5. Leader for 5, putting him down to 3, using the jet pistol to get out of it. Pretty unfortunate there. He has been really good at using the 1 Dawn to make it a 7k, but with the Kid coming out of hand, you needed all 8 Dawn for that. So 15k swing again for turn, just get rid of the 8 drops. Not the worst play. You need to get rid of that, and since they don't have any blockers up, it's just kind of the play you kind of have to do. So looking at the top 5 there, getting a Trafalgar Law, swing with Ruiz, getting the drop since you do have the Bonnie, and then you do swing with Okiku as well, 5k getting out of it with the Sanjay 2k. You do have enough Dawn if you want to play that Trafalgar Law, which may be the play, but yes, we're first swinging with Leader for 5, and then Momo for 1, and then using the effect. And then using the Law to bounce back and killer and pass turn. So 2 blockers up. Rizo's pretty good. Looking top 5 with Nami on Alan's side. Man, he sees all his Namis. It's very, very good to see all your Namis. It's like the one card you need to do. So like looking top 5 for a Luffy, which is again probably one of your stronger closers for this deck as well. Putting 1 underneath the leader to make it a 6k, and everything else plus 1k with this effect. And then thinking about these last couple Dawns. So using it for a Luffy for 5, has 3 Dawns open, making it an 8k, 9k with leader. And that swing is going to be on the Okiku, which you cannot block with leader, or with character effect. So deciding if they want to keep it alive, and deciding, Okiku's not worth it. So extra 1 on leader, making it a 7k, swing 7k, probably on Rizo, and then you will block, you get the draw with killer, and with Rizo still kicking, you do get to get another draw with it next turn when you swing, which is really, really nice. So look again, just look at the difference in hand size between Jackson on the left and on the right. So look, with Momo, you did whiff, so you did not get an additional draw. But 6k with the lead, you get, or with the Rizo getting a draw, getting a 1k out of hand when you are attacking into the Luffy. So it's 6 to 6. And you'll probably want to try to get that Luffy around. If it's able to stick on the board, it's pretty rough. So 8k with lead, Bonnie for 1. You're looking at top 5, finding another Apu there. You have 2 Dawn open, and then playing it for Beige, leaving 1 open and passing it right back. And took some time to think, but looks like it's going to be a 3k into Bonnie, blocking with the 6k Law there. Saying, I'm not afraid of, dying this turn. I've got so many cards in hand. I have an extra blocker out, and you only have, 6 more Dawn open. So using a 7k swing with Zoro into the Raizo, and that is okay. Raizo, I think, drew 2 cards. Another Zoro with another 7k, probably swinging at the Law, using the Beige to block wherever you swung at, and then a final 7k swing, and you do have a, we know he's got enough counter in hand, so getting out of it there. Especially since it was a 7 to 6, you only needed 1 2k. So Bonnie top 5, looking top 5 for another Bonnie, using a 7k swing on the Zoro. Yeah, getting rid of it. Using Momo to look top 5, finding an Okiku. I guess was the only target for it. You can discard 3 if you want, or sorry, use the 3, but this killer does the same thing. Killer for the other killer for 2, for 1 for the Dawn underneath it, so it is a blocker that lets you draw a card. Another Nami, man, this Zoro player must only have Namis and Zoros in their deck, because that is all they're seeing, and Jet Pistols, which you did see as well. So using that, got rid of the Law, so that's half your turn. That's 5 Dawn used for that, so which is a lot for Zoro. But your 6k lead, swing 5k. With assumedly into leader, getting out of it, and then using the killer to block and draw on the leader swing and passing it right on back. Killer 3-drop into the Nami, using the Bonnie effect, look top 5 again, finding another 2-drop killer blocker, swinging 5k into lead, taking it down to 6, and then using the effect for the 8-drop and playing the killer off the 8-drop effect as well. All right, so you do have a blocker open. You do have to swing into the 8 cost. Looking at Dawn, so I think they're going to, for 5, play another Luffy and then put 1, 2, 3, 4, making it a 11k. And then you do have 2 2k counters in hand, making it 12k, and you just simply get out of it. So 8k, assumedly on the Luffy. Jackson's a little, patient on his plays, but you can definitely get punished for it. So I think it's the right play. So 9k there, using the Bonnie effect, look top 5, finding a killer. Using Momo's effect, look top 5, finding another Momo, doing a 5k swing there, and just taking it. And Jackson, I don't know why he took the Dawn off stuff. He shouldn't have. It's technically still underneath the card, so he's putting one back for the kid. There should be no reason to put them under. It's fine, but just a quick little error there. So the one that only matters is the 8-drop kid, which he was on. So we are good there. 10 Dawn open there for Alan. And looking at his plays there, it's looking like almost checkmate, though. It's going to be pretty hard to not only get around this board, like either thing, like not lose next turn and or win this turn is going to be very, very difficult, if not impossible. So swinging with the big Sanji, leader can't swing anywhere, and so it's just going to be a game there. Alan concedes, and Jackson takes round 1 with Eustace Kid there. Moving into top 8, we have Jeff on the left with Kaido versus Sam on the right with Kid. Sam going first, it's a Momo to a 2-drop Black Maria, and then going into the 3 Dawn turn. So Sam has the play here, deciding to play an Izo for 3, attacking into the Black Maria, and then just passing it right back. 4 Dawn over there, let's see if we see an Onigashima Island, and we do not. So it is a 7k onto lead, and then taking the killer just to play it out, playing another 2-drop blocker, and then just passing it right back. So 5 Dawn over for Sam, and let's see what they decide to do with it. So they have a couple swings available to them. They can use the Momo, but looking like a swing first, a 5k on the lead, taking it, going down to 4, and then using a Trafalgar Law to bounce the Momo back to play the Raizo, and then just passing the very interesting play there. Deciding not to use the Momo, and instead just kind of getting more of the board tempo than like hand advantage. So 6k swing with the Kaido into the Kid, and deciding to block with the Law, and then just getting, not saving it either, which is really interesting too, because we know that he had the Momo in hand, plays the Big Baba on the other side, and then it's back to Sam. So using the Momo in hand, using the 1, and then paying another 1 to look top 5. Let's see what they find. It looks like there's another Momo potentially, and that might be the only target, maybe a Raizo. Going for the Momo and putting that to hand. Raizo can now attach a Dawn and draw a card, but swing 5k into leader first, getting the block there, and then 5k Raizo getting the draw off the effect, using a Queen to counter out of it, and then Looks like 4 Dawn open. They can attach them to Killer or Iso if they want to get 2 more 5k swings. Looks like Iso swing 5k in, going down to 3 life. 2 more Dawn open with Killer. Let's see if they decide to do the 5k swing. Looks like instead using 2 to play a Killer blocker, not being able to put the Dawn underneath it and just passing it there. So next up, we do have Jeff. Again, no form of ramp for Kaido, which is quite rare, but at least you're playing like the vanillas, which means you aren't unramping yourself, which is really nice. No minus Dawn effects. Starting with a 5k swing with leader, assumedly at the Rizo, but could be at leader as well, or it could be at the Iso as well. But it looks like whatever it was blocked. And then 7k, was it on the Momo? Looks like it was pointed towards the Momo. No, into the life, taking that down, going down to 3, and then playing a king right there, popping the 2 cards, including the Momo there. Both Rizo and the Momo with the 2 cards getting the card draw, so it does kind of help you out there. Took some decision making and took a 7k swing, or is using a 7k swing. Let's see if it's on the leader. It looks like, yeah, there's an 8k leader with the counters there. And then what do we see here? So this is kind of like a weird spot because purple can just start building the board with these 7k bodies that are pretty hard to remove. Looks like a 5k swing with Iso going down to 2 life for Jeff, and then another 5k swing there with the Killer, using the counter to get out. It's a 2k counter, so had to over counter with it. And then using the leader effect just to swing one more time, using the blast breath to, unfortunately, having to go Dawn minus, which is kind of rough again when you don't have Onigashima, but just passing it there. You still have a healthy amount of Dawn up. We have the 6 into the Iso, getting rid of it. 7 into the Killer, getting rid of that as well. 8 with the king into leader, using a 3 cards in hand to get counter out of that, since you are at 3 life. And then Queen, using the Dawn minus and then drawing 2 and discarding 1 and getting rid of a 10 drop Kaido, which probably won't hit the board for the rest of the game. So going back to Sam over here, 10 Dawn active, looks like putting 6 Dawn underneath leader. Yeah, so making it an 11k at the lead. Using the block with the Queen there, probably using leader's effect to pay 3 and discard 1 to be able to attack with it again. That seems to be the case, discarding a Killer, and then into actually just hitting it right off the board. Hitting the 7-drop king, and then playing the beige for 1 and passing there. Because honestly, there is like a chance like that you just lose next turn. Once you're like, you know, at 2 or 3 life, Kaido with enough bodies on board can get rid of it. So we have the 6-drop king instead, getting rid of the beige, and then swinging in with both the leader and the vanilla on board, going down to 1 card in life. Very, very dangerous here for Sam. If he doesn't end up closing, or, you know, can't close this out or can't defend the board, he can just be dead this next turn. So swung in with 5k leader, uses the ulti to get out of it, and then looks like playing 8 for the 8-drop kid, which you can try to play a blocker to get out of it, which looks like the case. Playing an Okiku instead, that's going to be kind of rough. And is there a beige in hand? There is not a beige in hand. So it looks like there's going to be some good amount of pressure here by Jeff on the 8-drop Kaido. So big 9-drop has to go away. Oh, you don't like to see that minus, and then just going to be big swing ending the game there. So game 2 here, looks like Sam decided to go second here. And on turn 1 with 2 Dawn, let's see, he decides to play a beige and just pass it right on back. Going to 3 Dawn, does he have the island this game? Swing with 5k first using the blocker, and does have the island this game too. So very, very strong there. And swinging with the kid there, a 5k into lead, using 4 Dawn to play a Momo and a Okiku, and just passing turn there. We have 6 Dawn turns, so if they do have a 6-drop king, it can get rid of that Okiku pretty strong right now. Let's see. Nah, looks like that's not going to be the case. So 7k into leader, Onigashima here to get the extra, and then a double ramp with the jack as well. So, and then playing the 2-drop blocker. So I don't really know if I like that 2-drop blocker play because there is that Okiku out, but it just could be like nothing better to do. But it looks like they're going to swing with the Okiku into the leader, getting the suspension on the blocker. Probably a swing into the blocker with the leader, which means it's still getting a block. You just get to choose when you get the block for it. Using the Trafalgar Law to bounce back the Momo again without using the effect to play the Killer, and then swing into the blocker to get rid of it. Very interesting play there. Going back to Jeff, looks like he's got 10 Dawn, and he does have the 9-drop Kaido. which is pretty strong there, getting rid of the Law. And then he does have a couple swings upcoming here as well. 1 Dawn left after and use the Onigashima. So 5k into the leader after the other leader swing. And then the Kaido to get rid of the Okiku as well. So for getting a chunky amount of board, and once you play Kaido, once you drop one of your 9 or 10 drops, that just usually stays on the board for the rest of the game. That's almost always pending, you know, another damage or two every turn. So just going back, swung with leader, play the 7 drop, and it's back to Jeff already using Onigashima. So it looks like they're up to 9 Dawn with one of them rested, and he does have a couple options here. Looks like he is just doing a hard think of just doing a huge swing into leader, and that will go down to 3 life there for Sam. 4 Dawn open using a 7k swing with leader as well, which means you can block it and then you can defend it if you want, which seems to be the case. And then Maria for 2 to just end the turn. So going back to Sam, got again 10 Dawn, and you do have the 7 drop kit established, which can be pretty helpful, being able to put a lot of pressure, but also have like a defensive tool for the next turn. So swing with leader, and it did get the block, and then looks like they're going to try to kill the Kaido, and that is successful. So that was 9 Dawn plus 7, 16k on the Kaido, getting rid of it. It gets to restand. 1 Dawn open for Sam, and then just super punished for it with the 10 drop, getting dropped the next turn too. So this is probably like one of the few turns that Sam can like do some damage, because once you drop that 10k, it usually means there's like no defenses. You have no Dawn open and just no blockers either. So just 5k on the leader. Let's see, takes it, goes down to 2, using the 8 drop there. Can help you buy a turn or two, and just passing, not letting it be rested, so you can only have to swing into leader, which means you can establish the 8 drop next turn a little bit better. So 6k with Kaido into lead here. It looks like they take it, go down to 2. 12k into lead. There's no way you get out of that. So 1 down, playing a queen. You hate to see a blocker right now. You're really hoping that there wasn't one, since you do potentially have enough swings to win this next turn. And then looks like just passing there after dropping a king from hand. So 10 Dawn again for Sam. He does have the 8 drop, and if he can establish it and do well with it, it's pretty good. But looks like he's just decided to put 7 Dawn underneath leader to potentially get rid of the big 10 drop. That can't be right. It must have been. He must have been trying to get rid of that. I'm not sure if I agree with that play, but using the kit effect to play the killer for free, putting a Dawn underneath it, and just passing. Yeah, I think you just have to recognize that guy's just going to stay on the board for the rest of the game. And man, another king to get rid of that killer there. Really rough. So swing there, and looks like he can get out of it with 2 cards left in hand. So nice that the 8 drop lives there, and then pretty much just ends the turn. Yeah, that should be it. You could swing with an 8 drop queen to try to get rid of it and pressure it, but then I think that you kind of want to block her for next turn. So swings with the leader 7k, gets out of it. Yeah, it looks, he discarded 2 cards. Swings with the 8 drop with 3 Dawn, 4 Dawn underneath it. So it is a 12k, assumedly at the Kaido. Yeah, I really don't agree with this getting rid of the guy, because I don't think it's getting you anywhere, unfortunately. So swing with big boy into your leader there, and I think that just has to go there. ISO, yeah, even with that, you can't get rid of it, and just goes for the game. So there we go. Jeff wins round number 8, top 8 here, and we'll go to top 4. Going into top 4, we have Jeff again on the left with Kaido, and David Lago on the right with Kid. Once again, a Kid versus Kaido. Spoilers, I hope you guys are used to this matchup, because they're like most of this video. But going into this, we have a Momo to Black Maria, and back to David there, and swinging with the Kaido, into the Kaido 5k, and then playing an Okiku and passing it there. So 4 Dawn ready for Jeff. Let's see if they have the Onigashima Island. They do. They also did a 6k swing, which David got out of with a 2k scratch mana poo, and then just passing it back. So using Momo effect to look top 5, and it's finding another Okiku, which is not super good. You have one on board already, but swinging 6k into the leader, using the X-Drake to get out of it, using the leader to get a 5k swing, and then just playing a Okiku again and passing it there. So should be, I believe, 7 Dawn available with 8 with 1 rested, playing the big vanilla boy and just passing it there. All right, and looks like David is seeing what he wants to do with all this Dawn. Swing 5k into leader, getting the 1 out, and then another 5k swing hits, and then another 5k swing with leader and another counter out. Playing the Bonnie, looking at the top 5, and deciding to find a Trafalgar Law off of it. And then from there, I do believe they have enough to play the Trafalgar Law if they want to, and that looks like they play. So putting Bonnie back into hand and deciding to just play it again. So just have it inactive, which is not too bad to have a blocker out too, and just passing it on back to Jeff. So looking at this turn, looks like the 9-drop Kaido is going to pop that Trafalgar Law using the Oni, get back up to your Dawn using, and just have 1 Dawn open. So probably 5 at one of the Okikus. And it looks like they get out of it. And then another swing and another swing, getting getting rid of both Okikus and just kind of passing it there. So we do have 5 life still for David, but definitely not as much of a board presence. But there's only 2 life over there on Jeff's side, so you just have to be a little bit careful there. And it looks like a couple plays available. We do have the Bonnie looking at the top 5. And let's see, looks like they grab the killer. And then 7k into the leader, going down to 2 life. It looks like it's 2 life. My apologies. Going down to 2, playing the Trafalgar Law to play the Apu, and then just playing the Trafalgar Law again and just passing it there. So pretty similar board to end, at least for David on the last turn, and going all the way up to, I believe, 9 Dawn with 1 of them rested for Jeff. Swinging with the vanilla there after putting a Dawn underneath. An 8k with leader into leader, going down to 3 for David. Another swing. Probably going to have to take this one. Yeah, that seems to be the case, going down to 2. Playing the 2-drop blocker and then just passing it right back. So down to 2 life for David. So it's equal on life. And after some deliberation, looking at the top 5 with Bonnie's effect to find a killer blocker. 9 Dawn available for him right now. And it looks like he's deciding to play a Neko for 2 to get the rest on the blocker, swinging the Scratch Man at it and actually countering out of it, which is really silly to see, but I think it was the correct play because that does mean like you get like a double block with it, which is quite nice. And then it's a 7k into life there with Law, playing another Law, 3rd Law this game to bounce back the Neko to play killer, put a Dawn underneath it, got 2 blockers up with a Dawn underneath, so it's going to be kind of tricky with this current board state for Jeff to take it, but let's see what he decides to do. 10 Dawn available to him, 2 big bodies on board, and leader swing. Let's see. So 2 underneath, doing a 9k swing using the killer to draw a card. Kaido swing next. Let's see. Deciding to take it, going down to 1 life. 8k with leader. Assumedly, yeah, at life, going down to 0, because you can just get -7. Playing the Black Maria for 2, leaving 2 Dawn open, and then just passing it there. So the Scratchman Apu is actually on board, and its effect can be kind of relevant too. Using the Neko to rest the Black Maria, so no blockers on, using a 5k, getting the rest of the 1 Dawn. So only 1 Dawn's open right now. And using a 2k counter to get out of it. 7k with leader onto leader. Going down to 1 whole card. Taking the last card. No cards left in life. Just need to do 1 more damage. Seeing a 7k, 2 counters from there. All right. Another 6k, using another 2k counter. No options but to swing with leader, and there's a blast breath to get out of it, and that will be game number 1. So pretty tight. Definitely could have gone either way depending on how much counter was in that hand, but Jeff definitely had enough to get there. So going first this next game, and David decided to go second, playing Momo on turn 1, looking top 5 for Rizo, and then just passing it there. We do have turn 2 for Kaido, swings into the Momo assumedly. No, going into life. Interesting. And then just using the Onigashima Island. So seeing it on 2, definitely the best time to play it. Looking top 5 with Momo again, finding an Izo, which is quite good for the plus 2k counter. And then from there, let's see what they decide to do. Looks like 5k swing with leader, going down to 4 life, playing Okiku and just passing it there. This Okiku is probably going to get popped if they do have the cards. There's, what, 6 Dawn, 7 with Oni, but that one's rested. Swinging into the Momo, and then do they have the King? They sure do, getting rid of the Okiku. And, man, what King on curve just feels so nasty, especially in this matchup. So I believe they have, 8 Dawn available to him, using a 3 to swing at lead, going down to 3 life, using leader effect to swing again, going down to 2 life. And then what's left? Playing the Momo for 1 and just passing it there. So all 9 Dawn out of 10 available. 1 with Onigashima, so only really 8 available right now. Swing with swing with leader into leader 5 to 5, using a Raizo to get out of it. 7K King swings, gets into it. Queen hits the board. Draws 2, discards 1, deciding to discard a Vanilla Boy, very interesting, and then playing a Jack there, and then using the effect to ramp up there. So actually at 9 now, but interesting that they decided to do that, but probably because they do have Blast Breath in hand and they did want it open, but not much of a turn there, just playing the 8-drop kid and just right back to Jeff here. All right, and he is in that think tank of what to do. And looks like the decision is to play another queen for 5, drawing 2 and discarding 1. And the discard is going to be another vanilla. Nice. And then Oni to go up. We do have 5 available Dawn to us right now. Swinging 5K there, going down to 2 life. Swinging 7K there. And going down to 1 life. Swinging another 7K there. Yeah, and then just 7K with queen. Is it enough? It is not enough. All right, so ends up passing turn. Kind of felt like you had to go for it. You do have 1 queen open, but you do have to be careful because there is a lot of pressure on that other side of the board. But I think you're fine to be a little bit greedy. I think you're in the right to do so, especially before that 8-drop gets put in rest. But like at the same time, you give a lot of fuel, a lot of cards in hand too that they can use to capitalize. So. Looks like looking at top, we find a Neko with the Momo and swings with leader, gets the block and saves it too, which is a little insane, and if you don't ask me, but swinging there and then getting the killer and the beige out. So 2 blockers out, and with the 8-drop and going down to 1 life here for Jeff. They do have 10 Dawn open. -7 from leader does nothing. Using the King to get rid of the killer blocker. Doing an 8K swing into the 8-drop kid. And then looks like another 2 to get the Black Maria out, getting rid of the Jack. So back to David there. Again, once you set up these 8-drops, they can be very, very tricky to get around, especially if you have enough blockers to let it live. And that's the issue of, like, sometimes kid players just love going down to 1 or 2 cards because it just lets them have a lot of fuel to protect their 8-drop. But swing 6K with leader, gets the block. Trafalgar Law into Okiku there. And then looking at top 5 with Momo, hitting another Raizo, swinging 8K into lead, getting the Blast Breath to get out of it, and another card. And then looks like they're playing another blocker. So 3 blockers for David to try to protect this 8-drop kid. And looks like a swing there. He gets out of it with the Izo. Gets out of it with the Raizo. Playing another blocker and 3 blockers right back for Jeff. All right, but you do have the Okiku, so 7K getting the rest on one of the queens, so you can block it with one of the other queen or with the Black Maria. 7K just means that it's going to be a hard time to get out of it. Yeah, so using Black Maria for that, doing a 9K swing with leader because you know you got to. All right, they take the block, a big 9K swing, getting the Blast Breath, and another card to get out of it, and then for 3, swinging again, getting the block, and then deciding not to swing with the 6-drop Trafalgar, which could potentially win the game right there. But I think you're in such a good spot that you don't want to ruin it, and I think that Jeff kind of agrees with this. So it does an 8K swing into leader, getting the block, or the counter, swing with the king 9k into the 8k and getting the block there, and then just kind of deciding, you know what, I'm going to scoop it up. I can't win this. Let's go to game number 3. So game number 3 here, it looks like David decided to go first, playing nothing on turn 1, but on turn 2, putting 1 underneath the leader 6k swing, and then playing a scratch man, a poo, and swinging back. And then for Jeff here, 4 Dawn open, using 3 for the Jack. So assumedly no Onigashima in hand, and getting the discard of the Queen to get the extra Dawn, and then 5 there. Going back to David here, it should have 5 Dawn open, and looks like 2 on leader to make it a 7k, and does get the double counter to get out of it, and then just swings again and goes down to 3 life for Jeff over there. All right, making some thoughts. We're just playing the big vanilla and just passing there after swinging with leader. All right, big swing again, and will they just keep tapping that leader skill? Looks like that is another, going down to 1 life for Jeff here. Looking quite dire already. Not even at 10 Dawn, only at 1 life. All right, swing with leader going down to 3. Swing with the vanilla and going down to 3. Playing the Queen to draw 2, discard 1. Again, no Oni for Jeff this game, but doing very well to stay in it without it. Even discarding it, saying, you know what, it's too late in the game to establish it. I'm just going to give up the dream of it. Going back to David's got 9 Dawn, swinging with leader first, getting the 2k counter, playing the 8 drop, and then looks like just passing it there. So you got to be really careful if you're Jeff. If they're able to establish that 8 drop again this next turn, they're going to be in trouble. So swings with the Jack, gets the 2k counter, swings with a 6k Queen, and thinks about it and just takes the life. And this is where you kind of got to do some math. So doing a huge swing, can't get out of that, using the -7, putting it all on your big vanilla, and that will be it. Jeff sneaks in a win, able to, counter aggress that kid player and get it. So congrats to Jeff, and let's go to our finals. Starting off the finals, we have Jeff again, but switching it up on us on the right versus Jackson on the left. Jeff going first, and then Jackson going second, playing the Apu and passing it back. 3 Dawn open, using the 5k swing and not having an Onigashima, instead playing a Jack and passing. That Jack can ramp you, but Izo will try to prevent that. So it looks like we are going to swing with the Apu first, getting the rest of the Dawn and using the Black Mirror to get out of it, and then a 2k ulti to get out of it too, and just passing it there. So up to 5 Dawn, putting a Dawn or 2 Dawn underneath it, and using just a swing, thinking on the effect, it seems, for the ramp, and deciding, I guess, not to get the ramp either. So getting the double swing, going down to 2 life there for Jackson, and then just passing it back. So Scratchman swing in, getting the KO there. And then swing with the leader, going down to 4 life, playing the Trafalgar Law to put the Apu back into your hand, and just deciding to not play anything else after the Trafalgar. So looking at next, we do have 7 Dawn here, which can get some good plays, but it looks like it's just Onigashima, using it for 3, and then using a big swing with leader, going down to just 1 life for Jackson. So getting a little risky here, but just taking all these hits, but using the Trafalgar Law 7k to swing in, and then a 9k with leader as well, and then using another 9k swing to back it up. So using 4 cards in hand to get out of it. Pretty chunky counter, but does get out of it. And going up to 10 here, using the Kaido to clear the board. This can be pretty tricky. 5k swing with leader, going down to 0 cards in life. Again, Jackson just really knows what the limit of taking the life and not. But going into leader, using an 8 drop, and then playing a Okiku, and then playing a beige and just passing it there. So we'll see if the game of protect the 8 drop works for the scenario of having no cards left. Using the 7 Dawn there, and then big Kaido swing, and let's see if they get out of it. Does not get out of it, and then passes turn there. So it looks like, I think, only 2 cards in the hand of Jeff. So 6k swing with the Okiku there, really thinking about it and deciding to take it, and then a swing there with leader, and then another swing, and that is simply enough. Just a very quick game. We're going into game number 2 here. Looks like Jackson's on the play, playing the Momo, and then passing Black Maria over there for Jeff and passing it back, swinging with leader, taking it, and then Rizo for 3 and passing it right back. 4 Dawn available. Again, do we see an Onigashima? We do. We do see it on curve this game, which is quite nice. And then just passing it back. Using the Momo, look top 5 to find a nothing. All right, not a thing. But you can swing with leader, which is 5k to lead using the Black Maria to block it. And then using the Raizo to swing 5k, get the card draw because the Momo is also rested, and 5 to a 6, 7 with the counter, and then 3 whole beige out of that hand, a 3 of a kind right there. Very, very, very interesting play to see that, but if they're in your hand, you kind of got to do it. So swing with leader, just taking the easy block, and then playing the queen to play 1 block of your own to draw 2 and discard 1, with the 1 being another 2k counter and passing it right on back. So looks like I think there should be 7 Dawn over there. So looking top 5 again, finding a Neko there, finally hitting a target, and then putting 1+1, so 2 on Raizo, swing, get the X-ray counter there, and the draw yourself. Swing with leader as a big 9k, and then just passing the turn there. 3 life here for Jeff. Swing with the Kaido into leader, taking the block with the beige. And just playing a 9-drop Kaido. Let's see what you decide to pop with it. Looks like it's the last beige blocker that was out. Swing with the queen into the Raizo because it's been getting a lot of card draw. And then swing with the Kaido and passing with 3 life for both players. Jackson's going to start with another Momo, looking top 5 again for a 2k ISO. Very nice there. Swing 5k into lead and getting another 2k counter out of hand. Playing the 8-drop and seems to just be passing it from there. Back to Jeff. Believe he has 8 Dawn with Oni, swinging with an 8k into presumably leader. Yeah, because you can't swing in anything else. Swing with a big chunky Kaido right there and going down to 1 card in life, playing a 2-drop blocker and just passing the turn. All right, and this is where you kind of have to set up your 8-drop. So Neko using the effect of the Kaido, just swing with Kaido, putting a Dawn underneath it so you do have the effect active. Playing Momo's effect, looking top 5 again, whiffing with it. Swinging with a big chunky 9k leader, getting the counter out and leaving 2 open and just passing from there. So no blocker up, and you do have to protect that 8-drop. And looks like there is a Punk Gibson to suspend the blocker, but then that don't matter when you drop that big old 10-drop and reset the board once again. So again, you're in big danger next turn of just dying, and does take the 1 life. So no life available, 3 cards, so you do have to try pretty much defend this, going down to 2 life for Jeff. Swinging another 5k, recognizing they probably don't have any counters in hand. Using Momo as well to find another ISO, so you have 5 Dawn available to you. Playing the Trafalgar Law and then playing an Okiku, so only 1 blocker available to you. And we'll see if there's any removal to try to get rid of it. If that is, that's probably game for us. So let's see, we do have a bunch of Dawn on this, and we do counter out of it, which is quite unfortunate. And then you get to swing with your Kaido, and that's probably just it. So blocks with the Law, no cards open. 1 Dawn open, so maybe a Blast Breath can try to save you, but swing with Okiku first. And let's see, just reading that hand is dead. So using Blast Breath to get out of it. Swinging with the big leader, and then again, and that is that. Jackson takes the Treasure Cup with that game. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I really do appreciate it. It took a lot of time for this. Congrats to Jackson for winning the event. And again, thank you to PlayTCG for running the event and helping me record these matches as well. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.
Damn it. Damn it.